be honest, I don't really feel like I have a home, which isn't something that bothers me. I think it bothers a lot of people because we tie so much about like a person's character or like what assumptions we can make from a person of where they define home to be.
I've kind of come to accept that I'm never really going to feel like 100% home anywhere, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but it is, I guess, jarring for some.
I grew up in like a really white town where I was never really made to feel like I belonged there, and you know, I don't really see like Zimbabwe as my home. I don't really feel like Britain's my home. It's just like where I am, that's home.
So I'm British, but I'm Black British because it's two parts. I'm not just British.
I think first and foremost, I am most probably seen as a brown body before I am seen as British. Or, yeah.
I feel like most of the time I'll be like, Britain doesn't want to claim me as British, just because, I don't know, like too many sly things happen that like make me like bristle and make me be like, nah, like.
I think Britain would claim me as British. I think that mixed race people are very much seen as the poster children for diversity in Britain, because, you know, we came from here. Like we have like the blood of Britain, or I have the blood of Britain in me. So yeah, I don't think that I've ever felt like Britain wouldn't claim me. Whether I claim Britain is a completely different thing.
When they want to see me as British, they do.
Our food and music and style, then we're all British, but if there's anything bad, then we're honoured again.
I felt really British, but I knew that when people looked at me, they didn't necessarily see a British person.
If it doesn't want my father as an immigrant to this country, then I don't really see how it could want me or how I could want it.
When people used to call me a coconut, I used to take that as a compliment. I used to be like, oh yeah, it's good, like I'm assimilating to like whiteness and Western ideals and stuff. And like now I look back at it and I'm like, like people calling you a coconut, like now I realise it's nothing but damaging.
As soon as I left London for uni, it's just suddenly like, oh, I'm not seen as British. So it's weird, and they might say, oh yeah, you're British, but through the questions they're asking me, you can tell that you're seen as other.
So exhausting and draining to be constantly told what I am instead of what I was telling other people that I felt like I was.
Viewing images, like, you know, Western TV and stuff, made me want to separate my Indian side and my British side.
When I'm around my family, I'm Zimbabwean because we are, and you know, and the whole way that we speak and the whole way that we make jokes, like we'll talk to each other and we'll chuck in words that are Shona words, that aren't English words, and you know, the food that we eat is Zimbabwean. The way that our kind of family hierarchy works is very Zimbabwean. I come from a very Zimbabwean family.
Language as a way of knowing is so important. It's like, it can pinpoint where you are, who you are, and like what you're affiliated with as well.
Because I can't speak my mother tongue, so I can't speak Punjabi, but I can understand it, but not being able to speak it makes me feel like I am missing out on a large part of my culture.
Because I don't speak the language that fluently, I feel like, not as Chinese, I don't know if I would feel more if I spoke more, but I also feel that having never lived there and having never been there, I may look like I'm half from there, but I don't feel like I'm half from there. And for me, I would love to speak more Cantonese.
Speaking Lingala is really great because it means that I can connect to all my family everywhere. And it's also this thing that's really easy for me to sort of plug myself into watching Congolese films or Congolese TV because I do understand what it is, and music and food. And I feel like if I didn't have the language, it would be a lot more difficult for me, more so than people who are from Nigeria or Ghana, because at least then they can still speak in English. I would literally have no way of speaking to any family at all. And I think it's a gift, really.
I can't imagine what it would be like for me not to be able to speak Farsi. It's like one of the things that probably defines me.
Although I did struggle a lot with my identity, now, and especially after moving away for university, I've become so much more confident in who I am, and I realised like the parts of my culture that I didn't think were important before have shaped me so much. Like small things like curry being my comfort food, or how much I actually do love oiling my hair, like small things like that.
I do enjoy having two separate identities. Sometimes it's hard because when I used to go to Jamaica, I wasn't Jamaican, I was just Miss Monica's English grandchild. And then when you're in Britain, you're Jamaican, so it's hard. Both sides kind of see you as the opposite. You're neither, but you are both at the same time, which is, it's not as hard as I thought. I quite like it, to be honest, being split between two identities. I mean, it's not my choice, but it's who I am.
I like that I feel like I can exist, because if I'd been born like 20, 30 years old, like earlier, I feel like the climate for mixed race kids growing up then was so much tougher.
Being able to switch between the two, like some days listen to grime, listen to Skepta, some days watch Indian movies, like I actually love it, and I wouldn't change for anything. I think it makes me more multi-dimensional as a person.
If they're telling you, just sit and listen. You don't always have to have a response, just sit and listen, you know, just hear what they're saying and learn from it.